Hello everyone, welcome back. So we have finished with our term exams. Some students are going to start with their term exams. We have finished with the first term, okay, that is chapters from 1 to 9. Today we are going to start with chapter 10, okay, that is cell and cell organelles. You had studied this in your lower classes about plant cell and animal cell. Cell is the functional unit of a living organism. Okay, cell is the structural and functional unit of a living organism. There are two types of cells, prokaryotic, eukaryotic. We had studied this in the first chapter. Prokaryotic means which do not have nuclear membrane, and eukaryotic means which have a nuclear membrane. Okay, so prokaryotic cell is generally unicellular. Unicellular means made up of only one cell, and multicellular means made up of many cells. Multicellular organisms are eukaryotic organisms, are having eukaryotic cells. Now eukaryotic cells are divided into two, plant cell and animal cell. Fungal cell is also there, okay, but basically plant cell and animal cell. In this chapter, we are going to study about plant cell and animal cell. First part is the structure of plant cell and animal cell and the function of different cell organelles which are present. Now, at first, I will just explain the different components of a basic cell. In the textbook, they have given the diagrams of plant cell and animal cell. I will be giving you the diagrams tomorrow, okay? On the next day, you have to draw the diagrams clearly. Here, I have drawn a generalized cell just to show you the components of a cell. This is just a generalized cell. The outermost covering, it is called as cell wall. Plant cells have cell wall. Animal cells do not have cell wall. In the middle, there is nucleus, okay, not necessary in the middle. In case of plant cell, it is towards one side, okay. So there is a nucleus in which the chromosomes are formed. There is a membrane inside cell wall, inner to cell wall, that is called as plasma membrane. The fluid inside, that is called as cytoplasm. And the small organelles, okay, the small organs which are present in the cytoplasm, floating in the cytoplasm, they are called as cell organelles. Now we will see the difference between animal and plant cell. You may fill up the table which has been given in the textbook. The first one is cell membrane. It is present in both animal cell and plant cell. Cell wall, it is absent in animal cell but present in plant cell. Centrioles, okay, these are some organelles which take part in cell division. It is present in animals but absent in plant cells. Plastids, okay, plastid means chloroplast, okay, you might have heard about chloroplast. Chloroplast is a type of plastid. Plastids are absent in animal cells, they are present in plant cells. Endoplasmic reticulum, it is present in both animal and plant cell. Vacuole, it is present in both animal and plant cell. In plant cells, they are a little bigger compared to that of animal cells. Golgi complex, it is present in both animal and plant cell. And mitochondria, it is the powerhouse of the cell, that is also present in animal and both animal and plant cell. You may fill in the table, okay. Now the next is components of a cell. What are the main components of a cell? First one is cell wall, which is present in algae, fungi, bacteria and plants. Inner to that there is plasma membrane or cell membrane. The third one is cytoplasm, which is the fluid part inside the cell, that is cytoplasm. Fourth one is cell organelles. They are different organelles which are present in the cytoplasm. Now these cell organelles are of two types, which is bound by single membrane or bound by double membrane. Bound means covered, okay. So which is having single membrane covering or double membrane covering. Single membrane covering organelles are lysosome, vacuole, endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi complex. Double membrane bound cell organelles are mitochondria, nucleus and plastids. This will help you in studying the structure of the organelles. Okay, so what are the components of a cell? Cell wall, plasma membrane or cell membrane, cytoplasm and cell organelles. These are the four main components of a cell. Okay, now we may move on to the page 67. Okay, page 67. Can you recall question? How many types of cells are found in living organisms? In living organisms, there are actually many type of cells. For example, in our body, we are having muscle cells, nerve cells, okay, neurons, nephrons. There are different types of cells in our body. Which instrument had you used to observe cells? You might have used a compound microscope to study the structure of a cell. Observe the following figures, write the names and complete the chart. Okay, you have to complete the chart in the notebook. Next, the table. Okay, I have filled up the table. You may write it in your textbook. Next is components of a cell. So, we will see the first component, that is cell wall. What about cell wall? It is elastic and a strong coat around cell membrane. So, it is present around the cell membrane. It is mainly composed of cellulose and pectin. It is a very important point. You may underline. It is mainly composed of cellulose and pectin. Besides this, some polymers. Polymers means complex compounds like lignin, suberin, cutin could be added. Functions of cell wall. You may underline. It is a very important point. What is the function of cell wall? It is to support and protect the cell by preventing the entry of excess water in the cell. Okay, so that is the function. You may underline the function of the cell wall. Now next we may move on to the next cell component, that is plasma membrane or cell membrane. Plasma membrane is present inner to cell wall. It is a thin, fragile and elastic covering that separates the cell wall, cell components from the outer environment. You may note it is present in animal cell also, it is present in plant cell also. Now we may move on to page number 68. The structure of cell membrane. It is an objective question. You may underline that statement. Protein molecules are embedded in two layers of phospholipids. You may see figure 10.3. The yellow colored part, yellow colored circles which they have shown, it is phospholipid bilayer. Bilayer means two layers. In between the two layers, there are small circles, oval shaped structures given. They are the proteins. So basically, it is having a phospholipid bilayer with proteins in between. Okay, so protein molecules are embedded in two layers of phospholipids. Plasma membrane is said to be a selectively permeable membrane. Permeable means which allow the movement of substances across it. Okay, selectively permeable means which allows only selected substances to move in or out of the cell. Now a cell do not have a mouth. The proteins are produced inside the cell. The protein has to be given to another cell. So how it will go? It will go through the cell membrane. It will pass through the cell membrane. Okay, by diffusion or by osmosis. Diffusion is just moving, the movement of molecules from one side to another side. Okay, so this movement take place through plasma membrane, but plasma membrane is semi-permeable. It doesn't allow anybody to come and go. Okay, it allows only selected substances to enter and selected substances to go out. Okay, so that is why it is said to be selectively permeable. Due to this property, useful molecules of water, salt and oxygen enter the cell and carbon dioxide exits the cell. A cell needs oxygen. So oxygen will enter the cell through the plasma membrane. Carbon dioxide which is produced in the cell, it doesn't need it. It will go outside the cell through plasma membrane, okay, by diffusion. If any changes occur outside the cell, okay, outside the cell there is an environment. For us, the atmosphere is the environment. For every cell, the outside conditions, outside means not in the atmosphere, the outer part of the cell. The outer part of the cell, the environment is there, that has to be maintained, okay. The inside environment has to be maintained. That maintenance, that property, it is called as homeostasis. That means the water content inside the cell is maintained, the oxygen content inside the cell is maintained, okay. So whatever concentration is there, it has to be maintained. That property of maintaining the concentration, that is called as homeostasis, okay. So this is about plasma membrane. You may see the structure of cell wall also. In the structure of cell wall, they have shown hemicellulose, pectin, cellulose, microfibers, okay. So cell wall is basically made up of cellulose, pectin plus other substances like suberin, cutin, etc. You have to study. There are two questions here basically. First, the function of cell wall. Second, the plasma membrane is called a selectively permeable membrane. Why? Okay. Now we may move on to the next. Now the next is the processes by which the substances move in and out of the cell. I told you that plasma membrane is a selectively permeable membrane. Any substance, if it is a plant cell, it has to go through the plasma membrane and the cell wall. If it is an animal cell, it has to go through the plasma membrane. And plasma membrane is selectively permeable. That means it allows only selected substances to go out or to come in the inside the cell. There are two basic processes, two types of processes. The process in which the energy is needed for the cell and the process in which energy is not needed by the cell. So that means the process which consumes energy, that means the energy is needed by the cell. The process in which there is no need of energy by the cell. Okay. Now the process in which the energy is consumed, it is of two types, endocytosis and exocytosis. Endocytosis is the process by which a liquid or food is engulfed into the cell. It is eaten by the cell. Okay, it is coming inside the cell. That means it is eaten. That process is called as endocytosis. For example, amoeba, it eats by endocytosis. It engulfs the food. It is just an example. Okay, so what is endocytosis? It is the process by which any food particle, any substance, it enters into the cell. There is no need of energy. It takes place by diffusion. Okay, it takes place by diffusion. Now energy, the next one is exocytosis. During exocytosis, the waste materials are given out of the cell. The waste materials are present in excess inside the cell. It is given outside the cell. So these are the two processes in which energy is not needed. That is endocytosis, energy is needed. That is endocytosis and exocytosis. Now the next is in which energy is not needed. There are two processes under that. It is diffusion and osmosis. During diffusion, there is no energy needed, but the substances move from higher concentration to lower concentration. Okay, it moves from higher concentration to lower concentration. This is for any substance. Osmosis is generally for water. Okay, it is for water. What is osmosis? Osmosis is the process in which the water molecules move from a region of higher concentration to lower concentration. I repeat, osmosis is a process in which the water molecules moves from a region of higher concentration to lower concentration. For example, if you put raisins in water, it will swell up, okay, because inside raisin the water concentration is less, and outside, that means in water, the water concentration is more. So the water will enter into the raisin because the water concentration inside the raisin is less. So that process is called as osmosis. So what is osmosis? It is the movement of water molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. Okay, so osmosis, there are three possibilities for osmosis. One is isotonic, next is hypotonic, and third is hypertonic. Okay, isotonic means when the cell is having enough amount of water. That means if you are putting a cell in water and the water is not going inside the cell, or the water is not going from the cell to outside also. That means there is enough amount of water inside and outside. That condition, it is said to be isotonic. That means the water inside and outside is enough. Okay, it is the same. Hypotonic means the water inside the cell is less. Water inside the cell is less. That means the water will move inside the cell. Inside the cell. To inside cell. Okay, to the cell. That is said to be endosmosis. That is hypotonic. Hypertonic means the water inside is more, outside the water is less. That means if you are keeping a salt solution, okay, otherwise you may take the salt itself and you put a piece of mango in it, raw mango, the water, it will shrink. Why will it shrink? Because inside the cell of the mango, the water is more compared to that of the salt. The salt needs more water, so the water will come out. This is an example. Okay, so this is a condition for hypertonic. Hypertonic means the water is coming out of the cell. Okay, this is the cell, the water will come out. This is the cell, the water will come in. In this case, the cell is remaining as it is. It is neither taking water nor giving water. These are the three possibilities of osmosis: isotonic, hypotonic, hypertonic. Okay, I repeat, isotonic means, you may see the textbook, page number 69. Medium outside and inside the cell have the same proportion of water, so water doesn't go in or out. That possibility is called as isotonic. Next is hypotonic. The cell has less water outside than outside medium, so water enters the cell. This is called as endosmosis. Okay, so this is also called as endosmosis. So the water is going inside the cell. That is said to be hypotonic. Example, if raisins are kept in water, after some time they swell and become turgid. Turgid means intact. Okay. Next is hypertonic solution. The cell has more water than the outside medium, so the water comes out of the cell. Okay. Now this is called as exosmosis, and due to that what happens, the cell will shrink. That shrinking process of the cell, that is called as plasmolysis. It is called as plasmolysis. I will read out the next. If fruit pieces are kept in thick saturated sugar solution, the water from fruit pieces enter the sugar solution. So the fruit pieces shrink after a while. You might have seen sugar candy, murabba. Okay, the murabba, the amla candy, it is shrunken. Why it is shrunken? Because the water goes outside. If the plant cell or animal cell is kept in hypertonic solution, water comes out of the cell by the process of exosmosis, and there is contraction of cytoplasm. This process is called as plasmolysis. So here there are different definitions which you have to learn. endocytosis, exocytosis, diffusion, osmosis, isotonic, hypotonic, hypertonic, plasmolysis and endosmosis. Okay, have you understood all these? I repeat, consume energy, endocytosis, exocytosis. In endocytosis, the cell is eating something, that is engulfing the food or a liquid part. Exocytosis, the waste materials are given out. Do not consume energy. Two processes, diffusion and osmosis. Diffusion is movement of particles or substances from higher concentration to lower concentration. Osmosis is movement of water particles from higher concentration to lower concentration. There are three possibilities: isotonic, hypotonic, hypertonic. Isotonic, in and out, it is the same. Hypotonic, the water enters into the cell. Hypertonic, water comes out of the cell, due to which the cell shrinks. That process is called as plasmolysis. And the process of water molecules entering into the cell, that is called as endosmosis. Now we may move on to the next topic, that is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the fluid gel matrix which is present inside the cell. Cytoplasm minus organelles, If you remove all the organelles, then the fluid which is remaining, that is said to be cytosol. Okay, now you may see the textbook. Cytoplasm is the fluid between plasma membrane and the nucleus. Many cell organelles are suspended in the cytoplasm. It is a medium for chemical reactions. The part of cytoplasm other than organelles is called cytosol. Cytosol stores vital substances. You may underline, this is a very important objective question. Cytosol stores vital substances like amino acids, glucose, vitamins, etc. Okay. In animal cells, cytoplasm is more granular than the plant cells. It is thin in case of plant cells. Next is cell organelles. What are cell organelles? The organelles like nucleus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, which are present floating in the cytoplasm, that is called as cell organelles. So today we have studied about the different components of the cell. First is cell wall, next is cell membrane, third is cytoplasm, fourth is cell organelles. You may read till here. If you are having any doubts, you may ask. Thank you.